Hi everyone, this is Anna from StartAbroad, and I'm here with you today to talk about the Costa Rica Digital Nomad Visa. So for those of you that don't know, this visa came out and became available for applications in July of 2022. It's October of 2022 right now, so why am I talking to you about this now? Well, it's because the first couple of months of implementation of this visa was a little bit challenging, just figuring out the steps, the bureaucracy, the timelines. But I'm very excited to report that as of now, people are getting their visas. Timelines have really sped up. They're meeting the government promises of review and an answer within 15 days of your application before you come down to Costa Rica. So today, I'm going to talk to you about what you need to do step by step to apply for this visa and get approved. As a quick warning, this digital nomad visa is much easier and faster than your typical temporary residence permit in Costa Rica, but it still requires quite a few steps. So if you're excited to go through it yourself, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of work. If you'd rather have someone handle it all for you, we're here to do just that at StartAbroad. Get in touch, we'd be happy to help you figure out a way to work and live in Costa Rica. In order to qualify for the digital nomad visa in Costa Rica, you are going to have proof of income of at least $3,000 per month for the past 12 months. If you want to bring any dependents, a significant other, a spouse, family members, that requirement rises to $4,000 per month. In addition, you will need to provide health insurance for yourself to cover the duration of the visa. So that's 1 year for the initial application, and it could be 2 years if you decide to renew. That has to provide coverage of at least $50,000 per person. So if you're bringing family members, they have to have $50,000 of coverage on their own. The income that you make has to be made through a company that is located outside of Costa Rica. So that can be in your home country, it can be in another country, it doesn't matter, as long as the company is not based in Costa Rica. And finally, if you are bringing family members with you, you're going to need to have 2 additional items. One is proof of their relationship to you, so that could be through a birth certificate, marriage certificate, etc. Or it could be through a sworn statement that they live with you, if it's a dependent parent, let's say. The other thing you're going to need is a power of attorney to apply on those dependents' behalf in the online portal. Something we always like to talk about is, who is this visa right for? For the Costa Rica Digital Nomad Visa, I would say this visa is right for anyone who really wants to try out working and living in Costa Rica, but isn't ready to make a full commitment to living here full-time or living here long-term. It could also be right for you if you really want to work and live in Costa Rica temporarily, but you want to do that for longer than 90 days. 90 days is the typical duration of a tourist visa, which you can get for free if you're an American or Canadian citizen when you show up at the border. So if you want to stay for longer than 90 days, but you're not quite sure you want to stay for longer than 2 years, the Costa Rica Digital Nomad Visa is the sweet spot for you, provided of course that you meet the income requirements. Let's get started. First, you'll need to go to the Tramite Ya website, tramiteya.go.cr. And the first step, unless you're a fluent Spanish speaker, is probably to change the language to English. So that's up here in the corner. You can go ahead and do that. And then step 1 is create your account. If you don't already have a digital signature, you can go ahead and click no and go into the system. Now what you'll notice is even in English, a lot of the options that you have to choose from here are still going to be in Spanish. For example, here, if you're from the United States, you're going to want to choose Estados Unidos. And then pasaporte is passport number, and enter your passport number here from the United States. You'll see that this is pretty straightforward in terms of the type of information you are asked to enter. One thing to note here, if you have a typical American or Canadian name, you're going to enter your first name and your middle name in this name box, and you'll enter your last name into the first surname box. Now, when you go into supplementary data, this is going to be your address. If you already know where you're going to be located in Costa Rica, you can go ahead and put the address in here. If you aren't in Costa Rica yet and you're not sure where you will be, you can write something like, Ya no estoy en Costa Rica. I'm not in Costa Rica yet. Your phone number in the country, that's the only type of entry that this box will take, is a Costa Rican number. If you don't have a Costa Rican number, just be sure your main email is correct, because this is where you will be getting all of your notifications about the process. This is pretty easy. All you have to do is enter a password to go along with your email address and confirm, and then you'll be able to create your account. Congratulations, you're done with step 1 of applying to the Costa Rican Digital Nomad Visa. You'll actually go to a slightly different website to log in. Note here it's tramiteya.go.cr/DGME. Make sure that your language is set to English, enter your username and password, and log in. So once you're logged in, the first thing to do is to go to Affiliation procedure. For this, make sure to have ready a couple of key documents. You'll need a scan of your passport. If you're in Costa Rica, you'll need a scan of your entry stamp as well. You'll also need a passport photo. As you're filling this out, even if you're applying with your family, make sure to fill out the form first for yourself, selecting myself. Once your family members are ready to apply, then you'll apply for them, choosing other person, but you need to apply first. Now, as you go through, these are fairly straightforward categories, but you'll just want to be sure that you are able to search, if you don't speak Spanish, for the Spanish versions of your profession, as well as your job title. You'll also be entering in some information about your parents in this section. Skipping ahead to the requirements section, this is where you'll be uploading your passport photo and also a scan of your passport. If you are already in Costa Rica, this file that you upload should include not only a scan of your passport photo page, but also the scan of your Costa Rica entry stamp combined into one file. If you're applying for yourself and not working through a lawyer, do not worry about these other 2 categories. With that, all you'll have left is a confirmation, a payment of your $100 application fee, and then you'll be done with step 2. And that marks the end of step 2. You'll have to wait for a few days to get your notification of approval from the Costa Rican government. That will come through your email. Make sure to look out for a notice of aprobado y notificado for your approval. Next, you'll download the official application form for the Costa Rica Digital Nomad Visa. That will appear on the DGME website, which you can see here, migracion.go.cr, and then you can navigate to the Digital Nomad section. We'll include a link to this also in the description. All you have to do is scroll down to get your digital process forms, since you're applying online. You'll see that this application form is pretty short and simple, but it is also in Spanish, and it must be filled out in Spanish. Reach out to StartAbroad. We're happy to help you with this process. You're going to have to fill out one of these for the main applicant, and if you have dependents, you'll have to fill out one for each of them as well. So for this, typically the easiest way is just to get your bank statements. Along with your bank statements, you will have to provide a sworn affidavit that they come directly from your financial institution and that they provide information about the past 12 months. Remember, all of this has to be in Spanish or it has to be translated by an official translator and notarized. Make sure if you use a translator in Costa Rica that they are recognized by the government. There is a list of official translators that I will put in the description that you can use. Next, if you're applying with family members, you're going to also have to provide documentation proving their relationship to you. For children, a birth certificate. For spouses, a marriage certificate. And remember that those also have to be in Spanish. So if they are not already, you will have to get them, again, officially translated and notarized. You're going to need a couple of numbers from your previous Step 2 application. Log back into Tramite Ya and navigate to the Procedures History section. Click on the procedure that has been completed and then look for your procedure number or DGME number. You'll also need a number called Expediente de Extranjería. Next is submitting your $100 application fee. Now remember, this is per person if you're applying with a family or with any dependents. What you'll need to do for this is transfer $100 to the Costa Rican government bank account. This, we have heard, can be a little bit tricky. So if you're already in Costa Rica, we recommend going in person to the bank and depositing it that way by waiting in the caja line. If you are not in Costa Rica, you can try talking to your bank about a wire transfer or working with one of the international transfer services like Wise. If you have trouble with this and you want help, feel free to get in touch and we can sort it out for you. Now it's time to move on to step 4. If you have gotten this far, congratulations! Now you just have to wait for the government to approve your application before you have a cushy 90-day window. That step has to be done in person in Costa Rica. So if you're not here already, go ahead, get on a plane, and make it down here. So what is involved in this step? Well, first, if you haven't gotten it already, make sure you get your health insurance that'll cover you for at least a year, the duration of your digital nomad visa. The INS, the Costa Rican government agency, actually provides a really affordable option for this if you're interested. I'll also link to that down in the description, or you can always use a private company. The next thing is going to be more deposits to government bank accounts. It is likely easiest to do this in person in a Costa Rican bank since you're going to have to be here anyway, and that is what we recommend. They will give you the bank account numbers in your approval letter, which, by the way, you should also log into Tramite Ya and download and bring a physical copy to your appointment. The last thing you need to do is schedule that appointment. You do that over the phone. There are 2 possible numbers you can call to schedule the appointment. We will again list those both in the description so you can see them. You will have to know where in terms of the physical office location you want to schedule that, so make sure in advance of scheduling your appointment you figure out where you're going to be staying while you live and work in Costa Rica. And that's it, guys. Whew. Long video, long process. But now you know all the essentials that you need to know to be able to apply for the Costa Rican digital nomad visa. And remember, if you need help, if this all sounds too overwhelming, or if you get stuck, you can always call us here at StartAbroad and we will be able to help you figure out a way to get down to Costa Rica and live and work here. Thanks.